Hi, welcome, mattdavisyoga.com. Today's yoga class is going to focus on getting us into our bodies and just being here right now. It's a very stressful time. There's an election. Let's kind of get into the body. We'll do some core work. There'll be some chest opening. It'll just be a nice flow. So we're just going to begin. Let's sit down and let's just take some really deep belly breaths. So inhaling all the way into the upper chest from that low belly. So let's take 3 or 4 of those just to kind of arrive. Good. I'm going to neck roll, so right ear to the right shoulder and back around. And changing direction, so left ear to left shoulder. Nice one. And then I'm just going to cover the right nostril. So we'll do that alternate nostril breathing. So if I cover the right nostril, breathing through the left, hold at the top and out through the right, and then back around. That's 1 round of that Nadi Shodhana breath. Let's do 4 rounds together and do it on your own time. So I'm inhaling left nostril, holding at the top, and exhaling, and inhaling, holding at the top, and exhaling. So that's 1. Let's do 4 of those rounds. Good. You may be finishing up those rounds of breath. If so, very, very good. I'm just going to bring my right arm up and bring my left arm just down to the mat. Just open up that right side body. Again, breathing quite deeply and intentionally. It's amazing how just breathing deeply can actually slow the mind down. And then bringing that right arm down, left arm over. Good. Let's come into a tabletop. And just take some cat-cows. So raising up for a cow and then coming over for a cat. Once again. Extending the right leg behind. Just going to extend that hamstring, just breathe into it. Again, if we can breathe deeply and like maybe constrict the back of the throat, just noticing any breath we're taking. So as I'm inhaling, I can hear it coming in. And as I'm exhaling, I can hear it going out. Same on the left leg. Let's extend that left leg out there. Breathing into the hamstring. And just focusing on the body, whether there's any messages coming from the body that are telling us
we need to feel a certain way today. Coming back down into a neutral tabletop, just tuck in the toes, just roll it back onto the toes. So this should really open up those feet. It's going to feel quite intense. Just inhaling to rise those arms up overhead, and then exhaling just to open the chest so the arms are sort of facing out. Nice, sort of a crucifixion pose. Obviously that's not the name of this pose, but I'm bringing those middle fingers in towards me, really stretching out the wrists as I stretch out the backs of the feet, inhaling deeply into that feeling and exhaling. Notice if there's any messages coming from your body to the mind, and on the exhale back into a tabletop. I'll take my toes over and come into the first downward dog of the day, and really taking it easy in this shape. This is the first time we've done it today, perhaps this week even, so it's time to really just take the information in. I've got my fingers spread nice and wide on the mat. I can really see the mat between the fingers, and yeah, I'm maybe pedaling out those feet, so 1 foot at a time, just to straighten out those hamstrings behind me. The main thing here is to bring the ears in between the line of the shoulders. That's what gives me that nice deep stretch all the way up the line of the back. The belly perhaps still in contact with the thighs, maybe still bending those legs, but just breathing deeply into that first downward dog posture. And then inhaling just to roll forward into a plank. Noticing if that plank comes naturally. So as you roll forward, the length should be right. And then as you come back on an exhale, the length again should be right. That's how we know the length of the downward dog and the plank pose. Inhaling again to roll forward into plank. And then exhaling just to roll back again. Good. And then just walking those feet up between the hands. Nice and easy forward fold here. This is where you can keep the belly in contact with the thighs. Nice bend in the legs and just kind of swaying left and right. This will really release that lower back and really make some room in that lower back and the upper spine. Breathing deeply here, lower belly into the upper chest, and just kind of arriving in this forward fold. It's a nice shape, this nice reflective shape, very different from the shape we often presume to hold in the world. So as you inhale, just imagine someone's lifting you up from the back of the shoulder blades, and you're coming up 1 vertebrae at a time into that mountain pose. Good. Mountain pose, the feet shoulder width apart, shoulders above the line of the hips, hands facing forward. And as you inhale, notice, can you raise the line of the head slightly more towards the ceiling? Can you open that chest more? Good. This is where I like to set an intention. So today, I'm going to not think about the election at all. I'm just going to move. As I inhale, I'm rising those arms up overhead. And as I exhale, I'm hinging at the hips to hold forward. Good. As I inhale, halfway lifting, really bringing those hands quite high up the calves, just to make that flat back shape. And on the exhale, just bring that right leg back, untucking the right toes. Inhaling to rise up. Good. That right leg might be opening quite a lot here, that right hip. Make sure the hips are squared to the front. And if you want to kind of really breathe deeply into the shape, that's the goal. So, good. On the exhale, framing the front foot, bring it to meet the back, downward facing dog. And then on the inhale, rolling forward into plank. We've done this before. Exhaling to drop the knees, the chest and the chin. And then inhaling just to come up for that baby cobra shape. Good. And then exhaling over into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg goes high on the inhale. And then exhale, right leg steps through, left knee comes down on top of left toes. Inhaling, arms rise up. Good. Again, you should feel that opening in the front of the left thigh here. Maybe you want to breathe a little more deeply. Whatever's coming naturally to you, that's good. Inhale. And on the exhale, framing the front foot, bring that back foot to meet it in that forward fold shape once again. And let's just notice as we arrive back in that forward fold, has anything shifted in the hips, in the lower back? Do I feel more grounded here than I did before? Inhaling to rise those arms up once again, and exhaling to reconnect with our intention. I'm not going to think about the election. Inhale, arms rising overhead. Exhale, folding forward. Once again, right from those hips. Good. Inhaling for that halfway lift. Left leg going back this time. Again, untucking that left toes, untucking the left knee onto the ground and inhaling. And vinyasa, low lunge. Good. Exhale, frame the front foot, bring it to the back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward into plank, and exhaling, knees, chest and chin. Inhale, baby cobra, and exhaling over into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, left leg goes high this time. Keep those left toes square to the ground. Exhale, step that left leg through. Untuck the right knee, right toes. Inhale, and vinyasa. Nice low lunge. Good. Exhale, framing the front foot and bringing the back foot to meet it. Hanging over in a forward fold. And then inhaling, arms rise overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Once again, reconnecting with our intention. I can't even remember what it is I'm not supposed to be thinking about. Inhale, arms rise overhead. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale for that halfway lift. Good. This time as you step the right leg back, keep the knee lifted. Keep that right heel lifted. Yeah. That way as you inhale, you're coming up into a high lunge. So keep an eye on that back leg. Make sure the whole thing's engaged. Good. Really nice. Keep the navel sucked into the spine if you can. And maybe there's the slightest of back bends at the top of your back, so you can really inhale deeply. But make sure that core is engaged. You don't want to put any pressure on the lower back here. And exhale, just come slightly more deeply into that front knee. Good. Exhaling again, framing that front foot. Bring the front foot to the back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward into plank. And exhale, dropping the knees, and then the chest, and then the chin. Inhaling, nice baby cobra. And exhaling over into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, right leg goes high on the inhale. Step that right leg through. Keep the left hand down on the mat and inhale to raise the right arm up. So that left knee is lifted, but I'm in a low lunge twist here. Yeah? That right arm lifted up to the sky. That left heel still lifting, that whole left leg engaged. And really opening up on the twist. So imagine someone's giving you a little high five on that right hand. Just to open that chest up slightly more. Good. On the exhale, framing the front foot and bring the back foot to meet it, so we're in that forward fold once again. And then arms rising up overhead. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhaling to rise those arms. And exhaling to fold forward, hinging at the hips. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, left leg back. Keep the left knee lifted this time. And again, we'll come into that high lunge. Other way around. Good. If you want to, you can heel toe that right foot further forward to give a slightly deeper expression of the posture. But you want to make sure that that right knee doesn't come over the line. Good. My hips are square towards the front. Good. Inhaling deeply. Low belly into the upper chest. And exhaling to frame that front foot. Bring it to meet the back foot. Downward facing dog. And then inhaling, rolling forward into plank. If you want to take that sort of push-up instead of the knees, chest and chin, now's the time. But if you want to do knees, chest and chin, that's cool too. So on the exhale, bending those elbows, keeping them close into the body, and then inhaling up for a fuller expression of upward facing dog. But if you want to go knees, chest and chin, baby cobra, nobody's judging, there's no winners. There's certainly no losers at yoga. After all, we all lose in the end. And just meet us back in downward facing dog. Very nice. Good. I am going to, where was I? Let's see. Left leg back. Keep breathing. Let me think about this. I'm going to lift the left leg on the inhale and I'm going to step it through, keeping that right arm down. That right knee lifted and then the left arm comes up. I had to think about it for a minute, but I got there in the end. Inhale deeply. Imagine someone's giving that left hand a slight high five just to deepen that twist. Make sure that right leg is fully engaged, just to make sure you've got that nice raising up of the back. Good. Inhaling deeply, low belly into the upper chest. And exhale, just frame that front foot and bring the back foot to meet it. So you're in a forward fold once again. Inhale to rise the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Once again, reconnecting with our intention, which I believe I can remember, albeit forget. Inhale, arms raise up overhead. Exhale, fall forward, hinging at the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, hang over, and then just bring the hands down to the mat. So you might need to bend
bend the hips, bend the knees slightly. I'm bringing the toes into touch, yeah? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the hands down to the mat. I'm going to do a little hop back into a plank shape. So as I exhale, I'm bending the knees slightly and then coming back into a plank, yeah? Very nice. On the exhale, I'm going to do knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. And on the inhale, coming up for a little flow. And on the exhale, over into downward facing dog. Very nice. Inhale, right leg goes high. Exhale, step that right leg outside the right hand. And just come down onto the left knee. Just open up for that early lizard posture. So my right knee coming out, my left leg behind me. Just opening up that right hip there. Now, if you want, you can use a block. That's all good. The main thing here is to try, if we can, to open that chest towards the front of the room. Try not to have the spine bent over like we're using the computer, but try to open that chest up. Good. Inhaling deeply. And letting it go. One more inhale. Good. And on the exhale, I'm going to bring that right foot back to the downward dog position. Good. And take a flow here if you like one. So inhale to roll forward, exhale to come down, however you want to do it. Inhale to come up, and then exhale over into downward facing dog. On the inhale, that left leg goes high. And on the exhale, that left leg steps through. Again, early lizard pose. So you need to have that block underneath the hands. The goal here is to open the line of the chest towards the front of the room. So we don't want to have the back curling over. We want the chest to open. Yeah? Good. Make sure that back toe is untucked. And really breathe into that full expression of that early lizard pose. You should notice nice opening in the hips. One more deep breath. Good. And on the exhale, let's step that left leg to the back of the mat. Once again, downward facing dog. And this time we'll go the other way. So I'm going to bring those toes together about 6 inches further forward than they were. Now, if you want, you can walk between the hands. There's no pressure to do this, but if you'd like to try the hop, on the exhale, just bending the knees slightly and then hopping forward into a forward fold. Good. However you got there, let's just hang heavy in that forward fold shape. And take a deep breath. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, if you like. That's always a nice thing to do here. Sway left and right. Good. And then on the inhale, we'll rise up once again. Hands to heart center, reconnecting with our attention. We're just trying to be in our bodies. We're trying to be here now. Good. Let's move into standing series. So inhale for arms to rise up, and then exhale to fold forward, hinging at the hips. On the inhale, we're going to step back into a downward dog shape. And this is the basis for our standing series. So let's just arrive here in that downward dog. Maybe the heels can come a little bit more towards the mat now. Maybe they can't. That's cool. There's no right or wrong answer here. The main thing is to just see where we're at. So my heels are nice and relaxed here. My knees slightly bent, my belly into contact with the thighs, and those ears really coming down nicely between the line of the shoulders here. Good. On the inhale, I'm raising that right leg high and keeping those right toes square to the mat. On the exhale, I'm stepping the right foot through, bringing that left foot down to a 45-degree angle as I come up into a warrior one shape. Good. If you want a more challenging pose, you can always bring that right knee further down. Yeah, so heel toe in that right leg and maybe bending that right knee as long as it doesn't come over that 90-degree angle. Good. Inhale just to rise those arms up. Navel sucked into the spine, hips square to the front. Often that left hip will bend back. We want that left hip to be forward, and that whole back leg is engaged. Whole back foot. Inhaling all the way up into that upper chest. On the exhale, right arm comes down. Heel toe the right foot so that the heel of the right foot is in line with the middle of the back foot. Good. And again, that's our warrior two shape. So if you want, you can always heel toe the back foot further away, so you get a slightly deeper warrior two. But the trick here is you want those shoulders right above the line of the hips. Yeah. So as I look out over that right knee's coming over to the line of the right pinky toe, and I can look back and I can look forward and everything's good.
Inhale, just turning over that right hand and lifting it up and back. Good. Looking up into that right middle finger. Really breathing deeply into that peaceful warrior shape. On the exhale, bringing the right hand down, sweeping it down in between the line of the legs. Make sure that those toes are facing in, yeah? So as you inhale, you can maybe come up for that halfway lift or flat back. On the exhale, you can maybe bring the hands down between the line of the legs, and maybe you can bring the crown of the head down towards the ground. Some of us are much more flexible in this shape than others, so some of us may find that we can bring the crown of the head to the ground. That's all good. If you're using a block, that's also good. And if you find that, honestly, you're nowhere near the ground, that's also totally great. There's no right way to do this. What we're trying to do is find the body where it's at, breathe into the shape. The breath is how we arrive in our body. On the inhale, let's come up for that halfway lift, and on the exhale, just walk those hands to the front, framing the right foot, and then bring that right foot to the back of the mat for a downward facing dog. Very nice. If you like to stay in the downward dog, that's fine. If you want to take a flow, I'm inhaling just to roll forward into a plank and taking that flow. If you don't want to take a flow, that's also good. I'll meet you back in the downward dog. Very nice. On the inhale, that left leg goes high and it steps through. The right leg comes down at 45. And again, we're back in our warrior one shape here. If you want, you can heel toe the front foot further forward. That whole back leg is engaged. That's the main thing. Hips square to the front, arms rising above, and the breath coming all the way from the low belly into the upper chest. On the exhale, left arm forward, left foot, heel toe in, so that that left heel is in line with the middle of the right foot. Right foot comes square, warrior two. Good. Notice are my shoulders above the line of my hips. That's where we want them. We can make sure that that knee's coming out towards that left pinky toe, and look out over that left middle finger. Good. Inhale, turning that left arm over. And bringing it up for the peaceful warrior. Good. Looking up at that left middle finger. And then on the exhale, bring that left arm back down. To avoid giving you 5 minutes of looking at my butt, I'm just going to do it the other way around. But again, we're in that wide-legged fold, forward fold. So my toes are facing in, my heels are facing out. I'm inhaling just to come up for a halfway lift, and then I'm exhaling to come over, bringing the crown of the head towards the ground, making sure that those elbows are facing in towards each other, and inhaling and exhaling with control. On the inhale for a halfway lift, and then exhale just to walk the hands to the front of the mat. This time stepping the left foot to the back of the mat, and you're once again in your downward facing dog. This is the time to take a flow if you want one, or not. It's entirely up to you. And if you aren't taking a flow, we'll just see back in downward facing dog. All good. This time we'll go with the left leg first. So left leg rises on the inhale, step the left leg through on the exhale. Good. We're going to come straight up into warrior two. None of that warrior one nonsense this time. Good. Inhale for peaceful warrior. And then on the exhale, bring in that left elbow to the left knee. Yeah? Good. I'm going to come the other way around just so I can see. Left elbow to left knee. Right, good. On the inhale, rise up with the right arm. Yeah? Good. The thing to notice here is that line down the right side of the body. So all 4 corners of that right foot are engaged before I lift that up. Good. That whole right leg is engaged. That way on the exhale, when I bring that right arm over the body, there's that long line of energy all the way from the hand to the toes. Good. Very, very nice.
Now, this is the fun part. On the inhale, I'm just going to bring the weight into that left leg. I'm going to give myself a bit more room. So, on the inhale, bring a bit more weight into that left leg. Good. And then the left arm comes down. Right? So that I'm coming up into a half moon pose. Good. So you can straighten the left leg if you've got room. If you need to, bring a block under the left arm, just to give yourself a bit more posture. That's all good. And if you can, you're really opening the body up, just to look up at that right hand, flexing the right foot. If you're not getting there, that's all good. If I were you, I would just stay in the extended side angle, that's also good. Good. On the exhale, let's bring the right foot down to meet the left, and hang heavy in forward fold. Nice. Inhale for a halfway left or a flat back, and then exhale just to step both feet back into a downward facing dog. You can take a flow here if you want to roll forward on the inhale, or I'll see you in downward facing dog. All good. No winners, no losers, no right, no wrong. Good. Inhale to bring the right foot high, and exhale to bring the right foot through. Inhaling up into warrior two. Good. Inhaling back into peaceful warrior. And then exhaling, bringing that right hand, right elbow down to the right knee. Inhaling, left arm goes up. Exhaling, left arm comes over. Good. Just look up at that left middle finger as you inhale deeply. Notice is the chest opening, is the left shoulder kind of opening back while that right shoulder stays kind of also back. So the chest is opening along with the rest of the body. Good. And again, on the inhale, I'm bringing the weight into my right leg and just bringing the right arm down and turning into a half moon pose here. So that left arm, left hip stacked over the right hip, left leg, left foot flexed, left arm rising up, looking up. Right at that left hand. Inhaling deeply, low belly, mid belly, upper chest. And on the exhale, bring that left foot to meet the right, forward fold. Good. Inhale, arms rise overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Just checking in again with our intention. Gonna have the hands down for a Tadasana pose here. Just inhaling 2 or 3 deep breaths. Inhaling just to rise those arms up overhead and opening up. So those hands coming up behind me, yeah? Good. Feeling a slight heart opening. My lower back and my navel still engaged. So it's the opening is coming from the upper chest and the cervical spine. Inhaling deeply into that shape. And exhaling. And then closing the shape into the hands to heart center. So noticing that difference between opening the shoulders and closing the chest. Good. Inhaling just to raise the arms up overhead, and then exhaling just to fold forward. Inhaling halfway lift, flat back, and exhaling stepping back, downward facing dog. Very nice. Good. Inhaling, right leg goes high. Exhale, step that right leg through outside the right hand. And we'll find ourselves back in the lizard pose once again that we were in earlier. Notice whether that right hip is any more open than it was before. And again, maybe I need a block underneath the hands, but can I bring that chest open towards the front of the room so that the back is not curving over, but the chest is open into the front. Good. Inhaling deeply. And letting it go. Inhale, low belly, mid belly. Upper chest, and letting it go. Good. And now bringing that right foot to the back, downward front facing dog. You can roll forward and take a flow, or you can remain in downward facing dog, whichever your body is calling for. Good. And then on the inhale, bring the left leg high and step it through for the lizard on the other side. Again, bringing that block underneath the hands so that I can open up the chest towards the front of the room. I always like to do that. Inhaling deeply, low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. And exhaling. One more deep breath here. Good. And on the exhale, just bring that left foot to the back of the mat, downward facing dog. Once again, you can take a flow here, or you can stay in downward facing dog, whichever's calling more to you. Please do take that. Good, good, good. And now we're just going to we're going to walk the toes and the hands back to the midline on the mat. Good. As I inhale, I'm slowly rising up. I'm bringing the right foot really to kind of bring most of the weight into that right foot on the ground. The left foot bends up behind me so that I can grab the left leg with the inside. The left hand is grabbing on the inside of the left foot. Inhaling just to raise that right arm up, and exhaling just to hinge forward at the hip. Nice. If you've got a wall in front of you, you may need to step back a little bit. The goal here is to really feel that foot kicking into the back hand, yeah? So you might want to turn back and you'll notice an opening of the chest. You can move that left hand around to get the right sense of balance. You can straighten that right leg if you want to, but there's no prizes. It's not a case of one thing being right or not. Do what feels right for you so you get into the fullest expression for your body of that dancer pose. Good. On the exhale, coming back with control to an upright position and just dropping that left leg down. Good. Bringing the weight into the left foot, we'll take the opposite side. So right foot coming up, grabbing the inside edge of the right foot. Inhale, left arm goes high, really stretching that back up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, kicking into that right hand and really bending at the hips here, hinging forward. Good. Nice. No right way to do this pose. You can keep that left leg as bent as you want. You can bring that left arm up. Just feel the balance. Feel the presence in the body. Inhaling deeply, low belly, mid belly, upper chest. And on the exhale, with control, bringing the hands back down to the side, the feet back down. Good. And once again, inhaling just to raise those arms up overhead. Noticing a slight opening of the chest, maybe coming up onto tippy toes, maybe not. It's one of my least favorite balances, this, but the palm tree. Breathing all the way into the upper chest. Once again. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Really nice, really nice. We'll come down to the knees with control, so we're on no pressure there to don't hurt the knees, all right? We're going to bring the hands to the lower back and just notice if we can open that chest forward again. That's nice. So it's that palm tree back. It's the upper back that's kind of doing the opening. The navel is still sucked into the spine. The lower back is not crunching. We're just inhaling just to open the chest into an early camel pose. Yeah, good. Breathe deeply into this pose. Feel the opening of the heart. Notice that that's very unnatural to open the heart that much. Yeah, cultivating compassion for others, especially in a stressful time, can be quite challenging. And on the exhale, we'll just come over and I'm going to take cat spine on the back. Yeah, so it's almost a tabletop, but just kind of curling the back in the opposite direction. Opposites being the greatest thing in yoga. And then inhale, just come back up. Now, if you want, you can take that camel pose in a slightly more demanding way. Some folks like to use a block or a pair of blocks, so they've got some support. Some folks like to reach back and grab for the ankles, or you can just take that camel pose the same way you took it. There's no right answer, and please don't injure yourself just to prove you can do a posture. So now's the time. On the inhale, taking the pose that you've chosen to take. Good. And just breathing deeply into it. All the way from the low belly into the upper chest. The way you can tell you've gone too far in a pose is you can't breathe. So if you can't breathe in the fullest expression, then dial it back a bit. Inhaling low belly, mid belly, upper chest. Really enjoying the depth of that stretch and the strengthening of the body.
One more deep breath, low belly into the upper chest. And on the exhale, coming back out of it, and again taking that cat spine. Good, very nice. We'll just drop down, wide-legged, wide knees here, just take a child's pose for a moment. Just to arrive back on the mat. Really nice. Let's just bring those hands back a little bit, back towards the body. And I'm going to bring the feet out in front now. Inhaling just to rise the arms up. The feet are flexed, and as I exhale, I fold forward from the hips. So my chest is still opening towards those feet, yeah? And I'm feeling a nice deep stretch here. Inhaling. And exhaling, maybe bending those elbows slightly just to come more deeply into the stretch. Take 5 deep breaths here. I'm going to shut up just to let you hear the sound of your breathing. On the next inhale, just rolling back up. Very nice. I'm bringing my left leg to a bend here, and I'm bringing the left sole of the left foot over the line of the right leg. Inhaling to rise that right arm up. Left hand behind me like a second spine. Stretching the top of the head up, and then exhaling to bring that right arm over the line. You might straighten the right arm, but the main thing is to keep the spine tall, so don't let the spine kind of sag here. We really want to stretch the whole length of the spine, focus on the length of that twist. We don't want to crunch the vertebrae, we want to extend and really bring out that spine. Very nice, good. On the exhale, just come in the opposite direction, just for a little counter twist. Nice. And then bringing the other foot to the ground and then across the leg. Good. So right arm comes down, right hand to the back. Inhale, left arm goes high. Exhale, bringing that right arm across the line at the knee, perhaps extending that right arm. But again, making sure that extending the left arm, sorry, making sure that the spine is long. You're not dropping into this shape. You're really inhaling deeply, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, good. And on the exhale, just taking that slight counter twist the other way, good. And then bringing those legs back down, good. Slowly rolling down now, so that the vertebrae are back in contact with the ground. I'm bringing the heels of the feet towards the glutes. I can brush up in contact with those heels with my middle fingers. And then bringing the hips up so that we're in a bridge pose. Imagine you're squeezing a mango between the 2 knees here. So you're really feeling very much as if the knees are coming towards each other. Maybe at this point you can bring the hands to clasp underneath the back, walking up onto the shoulder blades. But the key thing here is just to notice what's happening with the body. Can I raise the hips up slightly more on the next inhale? Am I still able to breathe? Low belly breaths. And on the exhale, 1 vertebrae at a time, just gently bringing the back down into contact with the ground. Good. And then hugging the knees in towards the chest, and just clasping them in. Good. Very nice. Just want to feel that nice kind of counteraction of the posture we were just in. Then bringing the soles of the feet to rest on the ground. That's really nice. We'll take the plow pose here. So you'll need a little bit of room behind you. If you have it, that's great. So I'm shuffling forward, so I've got about 4 feet behind me. Now I'm inhaling just to rise those feet up and over. And the feet are coming over the line to hit the ground behind me. Now, it's really important you don't move the neck here. So once you're in that posture, you might want to clasp the hands below the shoulders for a fuller expression of plow.
But that really is going to open the shoulders a lot. So do whatever you feel is right. Inhaling all the way into that posture. Low belly, mid belly, and the upper chest. And then bringing the hands towards the lower back to support you as you roll up into shoulder stand. So bringing the hands into the line of the shoulders, keeping the gaze directly up. You don't want to look around here, don't crunch the neck, don't damage the neck, but just inhaling and exhaling the shoulder stand. This is one of the best postures in yoga. It's also one of the weirdest. I often find when I'm in this posture that my mind starts racing a lot. All kinds of thoughts and feelings come up that I wasn't aware of. And just breathe through them. Good, next exhale, you're coming back, so those feet are coming back over the line, back behind the shoulders, and again, you're back in the plow pose, so this is a nice opportunity just to stretch those shoulders out once again, and then bring the soles, the palms of the hands down to the mat, so you can use those hands as brakes as you roll one vertebrae at a time, back down, so that you're lying back down on the mat. Good. I've got my knees raised up here, and it's time to take one of my favourite postures, which is the boat pose. So let's just bring the legs straight, bring the arms up. Good. Inhaling deeply here. And exhaling. That's 5. That's 4. 3. 2. One more deep breath. And then on the next one, just bringing those soles of the feet back down to the ground. Good. Bringing the knees down to the left here so that my hips are hooked over slightly to the right. So both knees come down to the left side of the body. And that means I can look over my right shoulder and give a nice deep spinal twist there. Oh yes, inhaling deeply. Sometimes it's necessary to use a block under those feet, sorry, underneath the left knees, just so that the right shoulder can stay in contact with the ground. That's all good. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling to let it go. Good. On the inhale, bringing those knees back up to the midline, and on the exhale, bringing the knees down to the right, the gaze over to the left, and the hips possibly slightly over to the left, just to make a spinal twist in the opposite direction. So looking over the left shoulder, knees down towards the right side of the body, and inhaling really deeply from the lower belly into the mid belly and the upper chest. Really feeling the benefit of that stretch. One more deep breath. Good. Bringing the knees up back to the midline. We're going to take butterfly pose here. So basically, this is what we're doing is just letting the knees fall open a bit like a book as the soles of the feet just come into contact with each other. So lying back and just allow the legs to relax if you can. Good. Breathing deeply into that upper chest, all the way from the low belly. This is called reclined butterfly pose. And you may notice that the hips maybe give rise to some sensation here. Try and breathe through it if you can. Good, and then when you're ready, you can just extend those legs out in front of you. If you'd like to take a last happy baby pose before you do that, you're welcome to join me, but there's no pressure. I'm just taking it just to open up those hips. And then I'll meet you in Shavasana. Good. We have a little moment here just for a meditation. So I'll walk us through.
So releasing any breathing technique, just feel the support of the mat beneath you, the ground. Feel supported by the ground. So your whole weight just relaxing onto the mat. If there's any impulse to move or get up, just kind of breathe through it and allow yourself to arrive here on the mat. Just notice the body getting heavier. So starting in the feet are suddenly very heavy. It's like they weigh 100 pounds. They're just weighed down, leaden on the mat. The legs too, just absolutely so heavy. Imagine that they weighed 1,000 pounds and it was impossible to lift them. Through the core, the belly, feeling the shoulder blades where they come into contact with the mat. Even the hands and the forearms, everything just weighs so much more than it normally does. The head, the neck, even the eyeballs, everything is just extremely heavy and weighty and substantial. And just be comfortable for a few moments, just being heavy on the mat. Good. On the next inhale, just starting to wiggle the fingers and the toes. And just rolling over to the left side of the body. So you're in a fetal position on the mat. Feel heavy there as well. And on the next inhale, just press up with that hand so you join me in a comfortable seat. Very nice. Crown of the head reaching up to the sky, hands facing upwards. We'll just inhale and exhale for the sound of Om. So it's about 1/3 O, 2/3 M. Let's go. Om. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Oh, gosh, hang on. Just gonna, mattdavisyoga.com. See you there, bye.